everybody. Welcome back. I am so excited. This is the next episode of From the Suggestion Box, Navigating Feedback, the good, the bad, and the say what? Yes, today I have my girl with me, Astin Hayes. Let me tell you a little bit about Astin. She is from, I like to say my hometown, even though it's not because I was a military brat, but whatever, I will claim it. She is from Chicagoland area. Woo! That is where she is based. And she holds dual degrees in media management and Africana studies from the University of Miami. I don't ever, there it is. Sorry. And a master's in PR and advertising from DePaul University. Her career extends to working for the likes of the Bank United Center, that's up in Chicago, Vibe Magazine, Chicago Cares Inc., and Clear Channel Media and Entertainment. She currently is a key account manager, I'm not even gonna lie, for Remy, how do you pronounce it?
Cointreau.
Thank you, because I would not have said that.
All good. Most people don't get it right.
And she maintains business with over 50 accounts in the Chicagoland area. Astin's greatest achievement so far is adding app developer to her list of accomplishments and developing a diversity council at Remy Martin. As the founder and CEO of Tipoff, I am so excited to have her here. And as you guys might see that I'm sitting here in this like hot sweater, but that's because it's her game and we're gonna be talking about it. Whoa!
Respect the game.
Respect the game. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So the inspiration for the app and the game is to bring together people using culture and technology in an organic way. Astin is a member of Delta Sigma Theta sorority and an admin for Black Travel Movement and Travel Club, assisting over 500,000 plus members. So, Astin, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
I'm so excited. So Astin and I met when we worked for Clear Channel, she had mentioned back in the day, and we've been best friends ever since. And boy, we have some stories working in radio, let me tell you. Ooh. So with that being said, let's dive in. So what is some of the craziest feedback? And you know, I always ask everybody, it could be the good, the bad, or the say what, but it's the say what stuff that everybody really wants to know. Gotcha. Like, what is the craziest piece of feedback that somebody gave you that just made you go, what? And how did you handle that? How did you move forward? Go.
The craziest piece of feedback from radio or just in general?
It could be just in general.
Just in general?
Yeah.
I mean, probably just getting into apps in general. Like, nobody sees Black women do it. Nobody really sees women do it that often. No one definitely doesn't see a Black woman do it. So just getting into the space to begin with was hard enough. So, I came up with the concept right after college. That was 2006. I didn't actually come out with the app until 2017. So that shows you right there.
Wow.
Like, dream deferred, but still a dream that came alive. So I'm always telling people, just because you come up with an idea and it came out with an idea years ago, if it's still valid, like push through, like move forward. And the timing just happened to align. I met my business partner. She had already come up with an app. She's another Black woman. I was like astounded when I met her and, pitched the idea to her. And I guess to say what would be like, I told her, I was like, I'm really looking for somebody that can consult this. And she was like, no, I actually want to be a partner. Like, I think this is a super dope idea. And so that was my say what, like, what? Like really? Like, maybe I thought it was just a good idea, but like, you think it's a good idea too. Like, so anytime I'm talking about it with people after they play it, they see the picture and they're like, oh man, like the plans you have for it, it's going to be big. So even though 2017 and we're in 2020 and I'm still putting along, trying to, get it where I think it should be. I know, I'm still in it because I believe in it and believe it'll be a lot bigger than what it is right now.
Love it. So in all that time between, because you said it was 2006, right?
2006 is when I made a deck of cards. I actually should probably go find it. It's like in a little baggie.
Oh,
that I would take
nice.
this baggie around. Like even Wesley, you remember Wesley? Wesley used to borrow those cards to take to like parties and gatherings. Like, can we play that Black Taboo game you made? It didn't have a name. It didn't have anything. It was just Black Taboo. And these cut up cards that I had made from like back then it was what Kinko's or whatever.
Yeah.
I printed them out, made them on my Mac, went to Kinko's, cut them with the little thing, and yeah, they've been around since then. And it was a friend of mine's father that came up with the idea. He was in tech and he was like, you should really make this an app, like not a card game. And that was a great idea he's done because there's a lot of games that are similar to the app that I have that are card games. So it puts me in a whole different, category that I don't want to say they aren't competitors, but they kind of aren't competitors because you have to order the game and then they have to get things made. And whereas like you could just go to the app store and pay 99 cents for mine and have it right then and there. So.
And you guys, a little bit later, we're going to play a little bit of it because I'm telling you, we played it the other day and we were cracking up. It is hilarious. It is a good time. It is a good time. Okay, so from 2006 to when you actually got it done, were there any naysayers? Did anybody say anything that either prompted you to push forward, or were you just like, you just discounted it? Like, was there anything? I mean, I'm excited because that was actually my first say what. That was like super positive. Like, oh, what? Oh, you were, oh, like that's exciting. That's a first. That's a first. But was there anything that was any type of pushback, or just, at any time did somebody say something that made you go, what am I thinking? Why am I doing this?
I think what it is just the people that I thought would be the people that were the most, I guess supportive or that will push the hardest for me are usually the ones that don't. It's usually strangers and people that come across the game. Like one time I was in a taxi and not a taxi, I was in like an Uber or something like that with somebody random. And it's back when they started doing the Uber pools where you would get in with random people.
Yeah.
And, used to have chit chat. You just, oh, what do you do for a living? This, and I was telling somebody like, oh, I develop apps. I actually have this game called Tipoff. And she pulled out her phone and was like, yeah, I played this last week with my family. It's so fun. And this was like back when we first came out with it. And I was like, oh my God, like, okay, like this is, I need to push forward. People are actually someone I didn't know, but I thought it was super dope. So I was like, okay, like this is super freaky, but like cool. So
yeah. No, I mean, if there's ever anything that's going to give you that dose of encouragement to keep going, I mean, how fantastic is that? Because that's real right there, right? That's not like your mama like, baby girl, I got you, all your cousins and aunties and all that. No, that's just somebody off the street, some random. And I also personally don't believe that was random. You were supposed to get in that car to get that dose of
totally. It's the universe. That's how the universe works.
Oh yeah. Beautiful. I'm loving it. Okay, so question for you. Have you ever either worked with volunteers? Have you ever been a volunteer yourself? And if so, or even interns, volunteers and interns, because like in my organization, our interns are also considered our volunteers. Okay. And so let me ask you that first. Have you ever worked with them, managed them, anything like that?
I have all three questions you asked. I think those are three questions. Have I ever been one? Yes, I have been one. I'm part of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. So, community service is like a big part of what we do. I've actually, most of my scholarships and grants and things for me to even go to University of Miami were because of volunteer service. I had like this astronomical amount of volunteer service when I was in high school that helped me get like a few $1,000s of money just because of that. I was a strong academic and did a lot of after school stuff, but volunteer service was like basically where people would look and they was like, how'd you even get this amount of hours? But so yes, I have volunteered. I still do volunteer. One of my favorite places to volunteer, there's an organization here in Chicago called Growing Home. Okay. And they basically take like people that have formerly been in prison and provide them jobs to grow in these urban farms. So they do these farmers markets every Saturday, and you just go, and it's nice to be outside and, you know, talk to the workers that are there. And my friend used to actually be a executive director for them. She's no longer with them anymore, but I still like the organization a lot, so I still support them. But anytime somebody's like volunteer, I'm like, yes, I'm there. Like, if you need me, I'm there. And then, you know, me from managing interns at the radio station. So yes, I had a terrible intern.
Don't name names. Don't name names.
I didn't have I had a terrible experience being an intern.
Okay.
Yeah, which is one of the reasons I wanted to be over the internship program, because I ended up going to New York. I won't name the company that I was with. It was kind of a bigger company at the time. I don't think they even in business anymore. But I ended up going to New York and not really doing much of anything at my internship, sitting around the office, and wasn't anything that excited me, and I didn't feel like it was that I got anything out of it, really. And I actually went and told the people that I worked with towards the end of the internship program, this is probably how you guys should put your program together, and this is how this would have been you would have got more out of me, and I would have got more out of this internship. And I gave them a whole proposal, and I think they were like shocked, like, really? And they sat and had a meeting with me, and I kind of just took those ideas. And when I worked at Clear Channel, I, you know, took the same thing and made sure that my interns, if they left, that they left with good resumes, that they left with the, you know, the tasks that they said they learned there. I did a lot of lunch and learns for them, because I wanted them to know it was more than just on air jobs there, you know, sales and programming and traffic and a lot of things that you could do outside of just being a DJ. And then I also didn't want them to leave and go somewhere else, and then somebody's like, really, you had an internship? Like, I can't tell, you know. So it was important to me, because it was a reflection of me. If you're going to call me back to give you a referral, or my name is on as the person that you worked under, that's a reflection of how I am as a manager. So, yeah.
Beautiful. Okay, so a couple of things that I just heard. Number one, what I really loved is the fact that when it didn't go how you wanted it to, you just didn't say anything. Like, you took the initiative to give that program feedback on your experience, and it was eye-opening for them, and they were able to learn from it and be like, man, we need to do something and do better, which is huge, right? Because a lot of times people, if they're not happy with something, they just won't say anything, and they lose that opportunity. As I hear people say a lot lately, it's a learning opportunity, it's a teaching opportunity. But you had that opportunity to help that organization because of the experience that you had, and it was twofold, because you knew you wanted to make sure you didn't ever do that to anybody who was going to intern under you.
Right.
So that was huge and amazing, and I love that. Let me ask you, when you were over the interns, when you were at the radio station, did you ever ask them for feedback? Did you ever like survey them to say, what could we do better, how we could move forward? Did you ever do anything like that?
Absolutely. At the end, I would usually have some kind of survey where they would fill it out, and it would be anonymous. Yeah. And then I'm always one that would like verbally ask for feedback. You know, I'm thick-skinned, so if I'm doing something wrong that you don't like, or you feel like it's wrong and you don't like it, you know, by all means let me know, and I'll give you, you know, proper feedback of why things are done a certain way, or, you know, that might be a great idea. Yeah, I like that. Yes, it's a lot of things that I implemented because, you know, interns that come to me and say, you know what, it'd be easier if, you know, we took messages this way, that way the person that comes in the next day knows that blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, you know what, I like that system. Yeah, let's do that. Like, how about I have you implement it, and then you empower somebody to be like, oh, okay, she likes what I do. You know, so now I'll speak up if I see something else, or I'll, you know, that, because you don't want people afraid. You want your interns to make you look good, just like any manager should want the people that work with them. I don't want to say beneath them, but people that work with them to make them look good.
Yes. Yes, yes. This is exactly what I am talking about. And what you're saying, it literally goes for, like I said, if your volunteers and interns happen to be separate or if they're all the same, but everything that you're saying literally applies. Interns, volunteers, exactly. You want to hear their feedback. You want to know, and that's how you grow. That's how you learn new things, because you're getting feedback from people who can implement new things to make your program better. Because if you ever think at any time that you know everything, your program is already dying.
Oh,
And so
totally.
getting that feedback is phenomenal. Did you ever get something from an intern where you just have to look at them like,
Oh, all the time.
like
Yeah. But I'd be like, oh, okay, thanks for that. I'll keep that in mind.
Yes, not that I'll keep that in mind. Yeah. Let me tell you, that was one of the things I had to learn. And unlike Astin, my skin was not as thick as hers. It was one of the things that I actually learned just from observation, from observing her at the radio station. But man, that was one of the things I really had to learn to do, and which is why I wanted to do this podcast, is because I needed to get thick skin. Because every time somebody said, and I'm not really a people pleaser, but I really feel like I put it all like on the table and lay it all on the sleeve and pour everything into what I'm doing. So if somebody gives me negative feedback, I would take it personal. My feelings would be hurt. And I was like a mess for a while, but I had to I think I'm getting to that part where I can be like thick skinned like Astin, and they can say something depending on what it is. I just let it roll like water off a duck's back, or I've learned to take the to not throw out the baby with the bathwater, but throw out the bathwater and keep the good stuff and take it and move it forward. So I mean, I wish you all knew Astin like I did. She is phenomenal. She's being humble, but she's a phenomenal, amazing human being. One of the most supportive people you will ever meet in life. So, Astin, what is something that somebody had told you that really you took that to heart, and it was a lesson that you grew from? And maybe it could even be something that may have hurt. It didn't have to, but those are always the ones that I like. The ones where you're just like, and you miss the opportunity to grow because you're so mad at them.
Oh,
Did
wow.
anything like that happen?
Oh, man, I'm trying to think. Well, I think in my 20s, and I'll probably say my mom, now that I'm 30, my mom's like 99.9% of the time, she's been right about everything, and I'm old enough now to know that. But she used to tell me, like, I'd come home and be like, they have us doing this and this, and this doesn't make sense, and I'm going to say this, and she'll be like, listen here. And she's old school, so I feel like most people her age probably feel this way. She's like, somebody else writes your check. So if you don't like what they're telling you or how they do business, then you need to just go someplace else. So like, I'm one of those people, like, I am about change within. So I'm like, no, we're going to put forward, I'm going to make it better, and this and the other. And I'm still that way now. Like, even where I work now, they know I'm like that, where I'm like, yeah, we should do this, and I like this idea, and I'm always ready to like volunteer for something like make the company better. But at the end of the day, you still have to remember, as a corporation, like you can only do so much. You are not the one that writes the check at the end of the day. And which is one reason that I do like the entrepreneurial side of what I do, because then I can be that person to decide how things are done and what direction we should move in. So I get a balance of both. But probably my mom, she would tell me stuff and I'll be like, that lady's wrong. She don't know what she's talking about. Like, she old, And then 10 years later, I'm looking and I was like, yeah, she was right about everything. If I had just done what she had said, life probably would have been a lot easier. So
did you ever?
Thanks, Mom. Sorry and thanks.
Yeah, I was like, did you ever go back and finally tell her she was right? But yes, there it is. The thank you, Mom.
Yes, exactly. She knows. She knows. I tell her all the time.
That's so good. Okay. So you may have already talked about it, but I'm just going to ask you, just because that's what I'm going to do. Your greatest accomplishment and why? And it could be personal, it could be professional, whatever. But what has been your greatest accomplishment so far and why?
My greatest so far? Well, Tipoff definitely, because that was like I said, 10 years. I didn't think it was ever going to happen at some point, and it just happened to like fall in my lap. And I was like, listen here, this actually might work. I would say that. I would say chartering my the chapter of the sorority that I'm in, Delta, because it wasn't at University of Miami when I was there, and I was like heartbroken because that was my plan to pledge and to be able to just start a chapter and see. Now we're over 100 members that have gone and pledged since I've been there, since I crossed in 04. So now to see that I was able to start something like that, I think that's super cool. Every time another line comes in, and we're helping to grow the sorority and grow the chapter. So that was always the number one thing before the app came out. Now it's the app, and I think once I get the app where it needs to be, then it'll be like mind blown. I'll be mind blown.
Oh, well, I'm already mind blown. But yes. So with what you just said, there wasn't. This is phenomenal stuff. So there wasn't a chapter when you were at UM, and so how did you go about trying to start that? And did you get pushback from it? Did you get feedback like, no, this isn't going to happen? Like, what did you have to do to make that happen?
Well, when we like myself and my line sisters, it was a couple of friends of mine that we all knew we wanted to go Delta, and we had taken tours and everything, and had been told that all the MPHC, which are usually Black Greek organizations, that they were all on campus. But depending on who you ask, they don't know the difference between it. So they just answer the question and say, yeah, all of them are here. Yeah. So when we got there and we're looking like, well, who are we supposed to talk to, or where do we go? They're like, oh, they're not here. So all of us are like, okay. We sent all kind of emails, calls, the pigeons, smoke signals to the national headquarters and to Miami alumni. And what basically went to any other chapter that was around in the area to like go to their events and show our face and basically show them that we really wanted it back on campus. And eventually we looked up one day and they were having a rush. It came out of nowhere, and all of us are calling it, did you see this flyer? Did you see it? And yeah, that was history.
Nice. Love it. So to my people who are watching, who manage volunteers, and we often have projects and things that we want to get done, and sometimes we feel like it's on deaf ears, but just being persistent and continuing to just show up and just continue, literally just keep showing up, keep going back, keep showing that the interest is there, and just being persistent. And then, like she said, overnight it could be like it's added to the agenda and now it's a new thing, and it's like, where did this come from? But I love that. But Astin, you've always been that way. You've always been that person, been like, screw it, let's do it, let's make it happen. What is it going to take? I've always loved that about you, that you were never like, oh well, we tried, that was it. Astin was like, we're making it happen. Yeah. So I've always loved that about her. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. Thank you, Astin, for all, the nuggets that you provided have been phenomenal, and I love it. I'm very excited about it, and really know that it will help other people in terms of how they're moving forward, and the things that they're going to do in terms of pursuing whatever it is that they are going after. So as we talk about pursue, how about we play a round or two of tip-off? Why don't we do that? How do you feel about that?
Of course, I said at the beginning that I was going to get my phone and then didn't. So you guys are going to come with me to get the phone. Look, but here we go.
All right. And that's also, while she's getting her phone, that's the beautiful thing. Yes, it is an app, and you can have it on your phone, so you can pull it out and play it wherever, whenever. It's good for holiday games. Did you get your phone yet so I can stop?
Yep.
No, just kidding. Okay.
But I love it. Thank you for the commercial.
Right.
Thank you for the commercial.
Family gatherings, dinners. I actually am going to be playing it with our volunteers in a week or two. We had a meeting today, and I told them about you, and I don't know if they're excited about it or not, but I was like, whatever, ask them to come in, and we're doing a couple of rounds. So we are going to be playing it. So managers of volunteers and anybody who's like over interns and y'all are looking for something new and easy to play, you need to look into Tipoff. Is very, especially as we're trying to keep our volunteers and interns engaged, and we're looking for new things and new ideas. This one is going to take off. I'm telling you, you're going to want to do it. Okay, So, Astin, give them a little bit of explain the game a little bit and what we're about to do. And I'm nervous because
so tip off is the word guessing game for the culture. Simply put, is we say taboo, but for you. So when we say for you, it's not a lot of games that are for people of color, specifically for people of color. So when I made this, I made it in mind specifically for African Americans, Blacks. But we plan to obviously expand at some point, but we want to get the formula right first and then move on. So you'll get different word packs, HBCUs, historically Black colleges. We have a holiday pack, a Black church pack, and then we also have a Nigeria pack. So we plan to expand to different, different countries and things of that nature. Jamaica will come next. Exactly. So quarterly, we always come out with new packs, and that's the way we can get people, if you've already played it, to come back. If it's a category that interests you.
Yeah.
But we want to be able to have something for everyone. We're not a monolithic people at all. So
no. So yeah. do a Black Hispanic pack.
Yeah, I mean, we'll probably end up doing some countries and things like that. Some more countries outside of Jamaica. But I'm going for the ones that either I know that I could easily put. So like Jamaica and Haitian will probably be the next two major ones. But yeah, the way we put the packs together, we usually have like a brainstorm with anywhere between 6 to 8 people, and we just like go through all these words for a few hours actually. It's 300 words per pack, so that could take a while because I have to come up with the 300 words and then the 5 guess words that come along with them. So when I'm not familiar with the words, like the Gen Z pack is hysterical because I'm not a Gen Zer, so it's very interesting and funny to play that game because I'm like I can't even help you guess this because I don't know what this word is or any of the words that are associated with it. But putting that pack was probably the most fun because the kids were like, I was like, what is that word? What does that mean? What is that?
And I think that's the one. I think we played that pack on that, and we did that, and we were all like, "What? What is this?"
I was like, I might as well just let the time run because I don't know what this is. Right.
Okay, so which one are we gonna do? Which one are you gonna do?
So let's see. You know what? We have a 2020 pack. So
geez. Okay. I love it. Let's go.
So the story behind this, it was really supposed to be called the quarantine pack. But the App Store does not let you use the word quarantine or COVID-19, or it was like a bunch of words we had to get rid of in that pack. So we changed it to 2020.
Okay.
So we'll do that one. Let's see if any good ones come up.
So you'll like you push the button on the app and it's going to give words and then you're going to try to get me to guess it.
Get as many words. I'm trying to get you to guess it and get as many words as you can. So here we go.
Oh, and what's my time?
You got a minute. Okay. So this is if you are stuck inside and you start like going insane.
Quarantine.
No. Well, as part of that though, usually people have it in the winter time. It's like a log. If you live in a log.
Fireplace?
No, if you live in a log.
Cabin.
House. Cabin. Okay, so that's
cabin fever. Cabin fever.
Yes, okay, cabin fever. Okay, got them. Okay, this is something that a lot of people do when they are bored. You can fit. Oh, that's one of the words. You can take like can't say that. You take like pencils. You can take like pencils and use it to
coloring.
Yes, coloring. Yes. There we go. Okay, everybody is at work on this platform. We're on it right now.
Zoom.
Say the other part. It's like if you're a newspaper, that's newspapers, TV, radio.
Zoom media.
Yeah, there we go. Zoom media.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so that's the answer. You technically got 3.
Oh Lord, a minute went by that fast?
No, 3 is good. 3 is good for a minute. That's good.
Okay. All right, so I have one.
Okay.
It's ridiculous. All right.
Okay.
So here we go. Are you ready?
Okay. Yes, I'm ready. Oh my God.
Okay.
You are so funny.
I only have, oh wait, hold on just a second. Thank you
Okay.
for editing, hold on.
Okay.
Okay, you guys, we're gonna see
Okay.
how many we could do. I have 2 cards here, and here we go. 1 minute.
Your face.
Okay. It's somebody that you know. It's somebody that you worked at Clear Channel with. In the promotions department.
Nicole Smith.
That's right. Okay. All right. Here's the other one. They're usually found in nonprofit organizations.
Staff members.
What?
I said staff members.
Oh well, kind of.
Okay. Okay.
Typically serve like an in-house talent agency.
Okay.
They're often responsible for PR, recruiting, training, accountability, counseling, event
managers,
marketing.
Managers.
Yes, but what kind of managers? They manage people who are not paid.
You said people that are not what?
They manage people who are not paid. What are like usually if people?
Oh, volunteer managers.
Yeah,
Did I do it within a minute?
Yes. Oh well, yeah.
Okay.
We're going with a minute.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my gosh! Thank you. That was hilarious. All right, y'all. This is my girl Astin, creator of the game Tipoff. I'm telling you, it is going to provide a lot of fun. And, take the tips from her. No pun intended. If it's feedback, if it's something that maybe you want to do as a volunteer manager, a new program, come up with a proposal. If there's anybody who's ever been a proposal girl, it is Astin. That girl is always, she's got proposals for everything, but it's gotten her so far. Come up with a proposal, present it, keep being persistent about it until you break through and get what you want, get what you need, get what you love, in order, especially if it's going to help the organization go to the next level, be persistent, go after what you want. So with that being said, everybody, I want to thank you all so much for joining us. Astin, before we leave, how can people contact you, or how do they get your information? How do they find the game? Tell us all that.
Okay, so you can find the game at the App Store or Google Play. Just put in Tipoff, all one word. It'll say word guessing game or word game, and click it. It's 99 cents. You get access to all the packs. And then everything is Tipoff Game. So at Tipoff Game, tipoffgame@gmail.com, tipoffgame.com. So we make it pretty easy. We have to try to brand it all Tipoff Game.
Awesome. So and you're on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all of those too?
Yes. Okay. Yep. All of those. So at Tipoff Game. Yep.
Oh my gosh. So what I want all of y'all to do is download it, play the game, record it, upload it. Please tag Tipoff and myself, because I want to see the result of this, because I'm telling you, it's gonna be amazing. And loving it. Okay, so now I'm done for real. Astin, seriously, thank you so much for being my guest and being here. It has been a great time. And see, girl, you are worth it, because I am sweating, because it's like 100 degrees in Miami, but I was wearing this sweater. I was like, I'm wearing it. So thank you all again.
And the thing is, it's like 60 something here in Chicago.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
It's like 120 with the sweater on, but it was so worth it, because I love my sweater. Woo! So with that being said, thank you all so much for joining us for this episode. Please be sure to tune in to the next one. Again, this is From the Suggestion Box, navigating feedback, the good, the bad, and the say, woo! Okay, see you next time.